Hey there, Sam Watts here, Director of Safety and Loss Control with 10-4 Truck Insurance, and today I want to talk to you about drugs, okay? Say no to drugs. There has been some changes in what they call the drug schedules. And if you're kind of like me, when I first started learning about this as a safety professional, is like, what exactly is a drug schedule? Is that when you're supposed to take them or what? So it's not, by the way. But there have been some new developments, and I just wanted to explain some of them real quick here for you, so that you're not confused and so that you're not offering up bad suggestions or suggestions that could lead to some very, very real ramifications. So there's 5 different schedules when it comes to drugs. 1 being the most severe, 5 being basically cough medicine with a little extra oomph in it. But your Schedule 1 drugs are the ones that should never be in your system, okay? Regardless if you're a driver or not, Schedule 1 drugs should never be in your system. We're talking heroin with that one, we're talking LSD, ecstasy, and marijuana used to be in that category, which I know nowadays it's kind of like, why was marijuana in with heroin? Especially when you hear Schedule 2, which has cocaine and meth and fentanyl in it. That's a Schedule 2. Basically, Schedule 1 should never be in your system. Schedule 2, the theory is that you could have it under the extreme guidance and supervision of medical personnel. Okay, again, we can make an argument, but we're really not here to discuss drugs right now. But what has happened is medical marijuana, or just marijuana, not medical, but marijuana has now gone from a Schedule 1 down to a Schedule 3 drug. And the Schedule 3 drugs are really hardcore Tylenol. Some steroids are in Schedule 3. So stuff that is fairly prescribed, but again, it's a prescription or doctor administered. So they are now dropping marijuana down to Schedule 3. Now, what does that mean for drug testing when it comes to drivers in the trucking industry? It means this: nothing, okay? Schedule 3, marijuana is still forbidden to be in your system as a truck driver, okay? And not just marijuana, but any sort of CBD products or anything that would test positive for marijuana, okay? Even though it is now a Schedule 3 drug, which basically means that it can be used for medical reasons, you still can't have it in your system as a truck driver. And this is where a lot of the confusion was really starting to happen, because now a lot of drivers are saying, well, it's a Schedule 3, so that means I can have some. No, because the whole drug testing thing with drivers is still federal, and it's still not permitted to be used by drivers. So this is a great time to go and look at your drug and alcohol policies that you should have on file, that all of your drivers should have signed when they signed up for working for you. But this is a great time to go back and reevaluate those drug and alcohol programs and make sure that the language in there is what you want it to say and what it should say. Although, as I said before, this doesn't change anything when it comes to what the drivers can and cannot have in their system. If they test positive for marijuana, they still need to be taken out of all safety sensitive functions, meaning driving. I also recommend having a number of supervisors go through the training for reasonable suspicion. Okay, you think the driver's high, you think the driver's drunk, you need to have your certification in reasonable suspicion. And then once you have that, then you could say, I observe that you are doing some behaviors that I don't think you would do in your right mind. So then you could take them in for a drug test then. But you need to be certified in reasonable suspicion. So I highly recommend that you get at least your supervisors trained and certified for reasonable suspicion. Don't assume that anything has changed until DOT officially comes out and say it. Just because marijuana went from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 does not mean that it is now okay to do. Because quite honestly, there's things on Schedule 5, a Schedule 5 drug that you can't have in your system and operate a truck, okay? So there's some hardcore cough medicine out there that you can have in your system and not operate a truck. So make sure that before you go and change anything that you hear from the DOT. They're pretty good about putting out press releases. Make sure that you hear from the DOT that, hey, this is now changed, and don't just assume because something got downgraded federally that that is going to correlate with something in the FMCSA. So do your homework before anything is changed. And again, say no to drugs.